let's get cleaned up in here. Alright? Today I went to Home Depot, bought myself a utility sink, getting ready to install that. Figured I'd show you guys, how easy it is to install a sink, especially when you've already got exposed plumbing. I'm going to tie into the plumbing from my washer that's on the other side of the wall. I've already got a drain. I've got hot and cold water over here. So I'm just going to, tie into it, show you guys what it takes to do it. And also see if you guys like the sink. It wasn't an expensive sink. It was a $100 sink from Home Depot. Came with the faucet. It's got a pull-out, shower head type thing. Was the real selling point for me. It's not as big as I would like. I would have liked a bigger sink, but we'll get into that more when I get it all assembled and try it out. So this is the sink I went with. It's a Glacier Bay, which is, a common, cheap, or maybe not cheap, but inexpensive brand. It looks like it's going to do the job. They had one set up at Home Depot, so I was able to, check it out, see if I liked it. Like I said, it came with most of what you need. Some things I probably won't use, but yeah, let's get that set up. This is where I'm going to tie in. You can see I've already got a hose I've tied in. I'm probably going to leave that, or I don't know. I might change the way it's hooked up. I haven't decided yet. I did that kind of quickly. So this is the drain I'm going to be tying into. Right here. Got the hot and cold. This one's cold. This one's hot. Got some plumbing. This is a T with the adapter that should be able to go on to the drain for the sink. So that'll be going in here somewhere like that. I'm going to unbox the sink and get it all built and assembled, because that way I'll know exactly where, I want to cut this, because there's not a lot of give. It's going to be where it's going to be, and you can't do much about that. So I've also got these fittings here. These are inexpensive. I really wanted one that was kind of a three-way. So I wanted something that, it went in and out, and also had a provision for the hoses from the sink. And I couldn't find anything like that, surprisingly, at Home Depot. I could find it for different types of plumbing, but I couldn't find it for the PEX plumbing. So what I ended up doing is I also got a couple PEX tees, and so I'm just going to tee in to the water lines, and then I'll run a piece of PEX from here to this shutoff valve, and then the sink will connect here. But getting a little bit ahead of myself here, because we got to build the sink first. So I'm going to go ahead and unbox this, and I'll show you some of the assembly. Well, basic assembly doesn't get much easier. The whole thing doesn't take any tools to put it together. It's all just kind of slips together. The legs just, slide up in. This was kind of a pain to put on, because it's got just a pin that goes, like a molded pin off the bottom of this, that goes through each leg. But they're kind of short, and the legs, they naturally are like kind of bent out, so you have to pull them in. And what's hard is that each time you try to get one of these in, you pick up a little bit to get it in, you pop off another one. But not a big deal. Managed to get it done. But I've got one little stupid complaint, and it's not a big deal, but it just seems really dumb to me that you would do this. So this is the trap and drain, and this slip joint gives you some giveaway so that your drain, height-wise here, you've got a little bit of play to get straight in. And my complaint is that as it comes, it doesn't fit. I mean, you can cut this, and that's not a big deal, and that's what I have to do. But wouldn't you think that the drain that comes with it would actually fit? So you can see I'm touching here. And so at its shortest adjustment from the factory, it's too long. You would think they would have given it, maybe had it up a little bit, and then you could adjust the slip joint. But I don't know. I don't know why they did it that way. The only thing I can think of is that this drain is basically a store-bought sort of setup that they just packaged with this package, and that yeah, it just comes that way, and then you would, you know, the plumber or homeowner or whatever would just cut it to the length they need. So they didn't specially order it or nothing like that. It just seems kind of silly to me that doesn't fit out of the box. But so I'm gonna go ahead and cut that to the length I need. I'm gonna get that installed, mark my plumbing that I want to cut, and this project won't take too much longer. I've already got the water off. Probably gonna turn on the hose a little bit to let some of the water drain out down. Luckily, you know, there's not a lot of water from here up because it doesn't go very far. Yeah, so gonna get out the Sawzall, do some cutting. Alright, let's disconnect this hose. It's in the way, so gonna make a little bit of a mess probably, but luckily I've got my dehumidifier, and that will clean up any mess, dry up any mess I make, which I will make a mess. I'm really good at making a mess. That should help quite a bit with taking the water out, so it doesn't go all over the floor. Spin that out of the way. Let's finish my cut. Used a highly accurate crayon, and I held my piece up here about where I wanted it, and cut it. This dropped down, you know, it was up here, so I just kind of marked where I wanted it, added about, you know, marked the edge of it, and then added about a ½ inch so that it can, you know, there's room for it to slip in. Trying to cut this without cutting into my drywall on the other side. This piece is a little bit easier because I can move with it. I like using the Sawzall. Works pretty good for me. Beauty! Alright. Let's clean some of that up. Let's dry fit it, make sure it's going to work the way I wanted. Perfection! Alright. Now, I have somewhere in here, if I can find it, it's a glue kit. So, it's 3 parts. You've got a cleaner, a primer, and an actual glue. And you want to do it on both sides of your contact. So you want to do the pipe and you want to do the fitting. So let's start with the cleaner. Go ahead and clean this up really good. Alright, so we got the cleaner all done. Time for the primer. Guaranteed to get all over you. Said you want to make sure you coat both sides nice and liberally. Now for the glue. You don't have to wait very long for that primer to dry, but you do want to give it, you know, a few seconds. Resist the urge to sniff. Don't turn into a glue junkie. Again, with the glue, you want to do both sides as well. Might be kind of obvious to most of you, but some of you may have never done plumbing. This T is directional, so it's designed to go in and then flow down here. I mean, you could put it up this way, and what would happen is it would always keep, like, almost half your pipe would be full of water all the time, and it would only flow the top, and then eventually it would back up and plug with crap. So make sure you get it on the right way. This glue is very fast drying, so once you get it in here, you don't have much time to adjust. So that's it. Now I'm going to glue the other side. Fumes are getting pretty heavy in here. All my microgreens are going to get high. Just going to hold that in place for a second. Like I said, it's quick. It's really quick. Yep, that's pretty good. Okay, now I've also got this piece here. This is a reducer because this is a 2-inch pipe, and I got to reduce it to I think it's 1 1/4 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same steps on that. That's that. Now I have my slip joint that'll slip in. Probably got to cut that pipe a little bit to length. We'll see though once I get it in place. Next I'm going to do my my water lines. But before I do that, I am going to install the faucet in the sink to make sure that my my hoses reach to where I want them to go. I don't want to cut this the wrong spot. Although it's not a big deal because I have PEX that's coming off of a T going to my shutoff valve and then going to the hose. So I really could kind of cut them anywhere I want and just do it. So, yeah. I go ahead and do that now. I got some PEX tubing out in my truck. I gotta go pick that up. But in the meantime, let's get these T's installed. PEX is pretty easy stuff to work with. So I got this T. They also make shark bite, which is it just slides onto the PEX. You cut it and it just clips on and holds. You don't have to use any tools or anything. The only downside of the shark bite is it's like, for one T is like $11, and this is about $3. But it is a lot easier, and you can reuse the shark bite as well. These are little rings that you use. So these slide on the tube, and then you crimp them. The special crimp tool I have, I spent quite a bit of money on this. I can't remember how much it was, but it wasn't cheap. And I've done a lot of plumbing work though here. I built a whole addition, a bathroom, and removed all the plumbing into the basement that I built. And so this was worth the money. They also make a cheaper version that's just basically 2 clamps, and you use some like vice grips or whatever, and you clamp it down that way. Alright, well I think I'm just going to go ahead and cut this. Try to decide for sure where I want to do it. Seeing how I have my other PEX that's going to come off, I'm going to cut it down low. That'll give me a nice amount of room to be able to access the shutoffs or whatever, depending on where they end up. But let's cut. Enough talk. Just going to leave my hose in here the way it is. And let's cut it. It's always a little bit scary when you're cutting your plumbing, but not a big deal. It can all be fixed. So I'll show you how this works. I don't know how good you guys can see with where I set the camera down, but all right. Just realized I really should have put my other piece of PEX on first. It'd just be easier, you know, to clamp, but whatever, we'll get there. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and install the faucet in here. I'll make sure that it fits correctly so that my length is right here. And I'll turn the camera back on in just a few minutes. So I just went through and I was watching some of that last video I shot, and I want to apologize. Most of what I was doing was not even on the screen. Terrible camera angle. So well, you guys get to listen to me talk for a few minutes anyways. But before I go and I position this in place, I want to show you just how easy it is to install this faucet. It's all done by hand. No tools at all. This is typically the way it is. I mean, this is how faucets are installed, but some of you may have never installed one and are curious. So the way this works, you got your hot on this side, cold on this side, which is the opposite of what my water lines are, so I'll just have to cross them. Not a big deal. But there's this this tube here is for the faucet to be able to extend out. It comes with this weight that you install on the line, and that's what keeps tension on it so that it pulls itself back in. I'll show you that right now. So this is the faucet installed, and so that weight helps bring it back in. One thing I noticed when I put this in that I really liked is that there's some sort of a notch here somewhere, and it makes it so that it aligns, like it won't really clip in until it's like lined up like that, which keeps it straight. So I thought that was pretty nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in place, hook up my final 2 PEX lines, make sure my drain works, and the next video will hopefully be turning it on. Alright, it's all hooked up. I just did a quick test. Found a spot to hang my hose too, which I've got to clean that hose up. I just dragged it in from outside. It's filthy. But yeah, so everything's all hooked up. Thing works great. I'm happy. No leaks. This feature is the why I bought it right here. So it's got this, you can spray, where you can send it back to me like that. For the stop, you only have, it's just a old school stop, no mechanical stop or nothing like that. But yeah, I think it's gonna work out okay. Let me go ahead and throw a tray in it. We'll see how that's gonna work out. This is the one problem, and it's not a major problem because it does fit in the sink. But I would love to be able to stack like 20-30 trays in there, fill the thing up with water and a little bit of bleach and let it soak for, you know, a little while. But this is gonna work. It's so much better than what I had, which was outside, because I don't like using our you know, the tub or whatever for cleaning my trays. I won't do. Yep, that's it. Oh, and with this done, I finally get to move a couple cards. So earlier today I moved the refrigerator in here, and that finished up this card, which was installing the plastic, the wiring, moving the racks, and I've been waiting on just moving in the refrigerator. So that card's done. Install plumbing for a hose and a sink in the indoor grow room. Done. Alright. Couple of things I'm still working on. This one, taking down all the ceiling, that's still a little bit of a work in progress. It's done in this room, but I have one more room to do that in. Hang drywall for new hallway. Mostly done, and tonight or tomorrow I'm going to start making a video, a how-to on mud and taping drywall, which is, it's not as difficult as people might think, but I'm going to show you that video. Alright, so with that, I hope you guys enjoyed watching me install a sink. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. Talk to you later.